Morning, everyone. Happy CPI Day. It is Friday the 13th. What could possibly go wrong on Friday the 13th? Nothing. It's going to be a good day. So I'm just going to take a look at the CPI numbers. I'm curious. They are. So core CPI month over month. Last month was 0.2%, forecasted for 0.3%, and came in at target at 0.3%. CPI month over month. We are slightly down 0.2%, forecasted at 0.3%, and CPI year over year. Last month for last year was 2.7%, forecasted at 2.5, and came in lower at 2.4%. And that's where we are. Just looking into next week, taking a look to see what's happening next week. So Monday, we have a USA bank holiday. Tuesday, February the 17th. It's basically a no news day, no red folder news day. Anyway, we do have FOMC members speaking. Wednesday, we have CPI year over year, of course, CPI for GBP. But we have FOMC minutes that got posted at 2 p.m. So that's next Wednesday, February the 18th. And then Thursday, we have unemployment claims at 8:30. And Friday, retail sales for US core PCE price index and flash manufacturing. That's what we have for next week. So Wednesday being the minutes posted. Okay, so that's where we are for next week. So we had a spike up with CPI. Just going to take a look at our overnight here. So last night we had Asia range nicely. We dropped down into this hourly BISI, and then London proceeded to move up. The third 90-minute cycle of London dropped down, took out Asia low, created an SMT with ES. Just before CPI release at 8:14, price came down one more time, took out the low that took out the Asia low, created another SMT, and then has been proceeding up since. So that's where we are. So we had this manipulation here at 8:14. So we will see what happens when the market opens. We'll see what happens. So we've taken out London high. And let's just take a look on the hourly, what's happening here, just to give us some perspective. So this is where price came down to this hourly SIBI or hourly BISI here that was created on February the 6th. And this is the buy side of the curve. This is on the sell side of the curve. So this BISI has been holding price. Below that, we do have another BISI, and then we have sell side down here. So we are in a deep into discount, and we have not yet come up into the area up here from February 3rd, January 30th, and November 3rd. We still have these areas here, these SIBIs. Hey, good morning, Poldersnack. I'm doing great, thank you. Just taking a look at the CPI numbers, and they came in a little lower than anticipated, so that makes the Fed happy. And just reviewing the levels from this morning. So this is on the hourly. So we're down here, prices being held by this hourly BISI. And we've had an SMT to support a move to the upside. So we had that at 8:15. Then, of course, we had a big spike. We have taken out Asia low with an SMT. We took it out once, we took it out twice. That's when price moved up with the CPI news. We've taken out London high, so we've taken out Asia low, London high, and that is where we are. It was a nice move down yesterday at during the 10:45 macro. Just looking at the indices, everyone seems to be in alignment this morning. Previous day low. Yeah, everyone has taken out the previous day low. Let's just go down to the 15-minute here. Yeah, so ES did not take out London low. NQ did take out London, and YM did not take out London low. So it'll be interesting to see if that remains the case or if price comes back down, takes those lows before continuing up. It got us Friday, maybe 1 hour candles close up inside the range after taking the low. What's been running through my mind this morning, Polterschnack, is, I'm always mindful. I'm always mindful of Michael Huddlestone, some of his, sort of key, not just his key phrases, but his core beliefs, I guess, is he always says, after the morning after a day that has a big movement, like yesterday was a big movement, he says, expect or anticipate choppiness the next morning. And we had a super big movement yesterday. And so I'm mindful of his words, his philosophies. And so we'll see what happens as price opens. Of course, with CPI on top of everything this morning, I'm curious to see how the market is going to respond. But anyway, I just have that in the back of my mind, to just be mindful that we may have a choppy morning before the market finds its feet. So anyway, just something to keep in the back of our minds, I guess. So we are above midnight on all three indices. So we came below midnight. We did have a manipulation at 8:15. Price has been moving up. Now previous day high is up here. And let's just go back to the hourly. We have a nice, this here right here at 8:15. This is a very nice smart money reversal. So we had a low, price came back up. We made a lower low. We have this inverted fair value gap right here. We have a change in the state of delivery, which is right here. And we have a fair value gap right here. So this was a perfect, this is a busy. This is, I'm just going to move this aside. Just we know that this BISI is holding, has held price nicely. So we had a nice smart money reversal here. I mean, it's textbook, right? Um, but of course, I'm not taking a trade at 8:15, 15 minutes before CPI is released. I have before. I wouldn't with CPI, Polderschnack. Like, that's just me. That's just me. I just think that that's a bit of gambling. And you know what? I would rather just read price on any given day and make a decision based on what I'm seeing versus taking a bit of a gamble on CPI. I have taken trades when there is very, very clear manipulation prior to the market open, but I haven't done it on a big red folder day. I've done it with other news like unemployment or manufacturing, something like that, and where there's very clear indication that that New York AM is going to be a continuation from London. That's when I will get into the market before open, but not on CPI. And again, like I think it depends on your circumstances, right? Like I'm not trading prop firms, I'm trading a live account. So I'm probably a little more I might be a little more cautious with a live account when it comes to, you know, what about yourself? Like, do you, what's your rule when it comes to like CPI, some of the big red news days, like CPI, non-farm, you know, I think kind of like three or four of the big ones. I just think there's other opportunities. But if there's clear indication in the market that say we're on a sell side of the curve and London puts in a very nice manipulation in the overnight, that's when we can anticipate a continuation in New York AM. And so long as I'm well positioned, meaning that I'm coming into New York Open with 100 points already in the bank, then I'm okay. I'm okay with staying in the trade in that situation. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely CPI. Not a chance. I'm not getting involved in a trade before CPI, but that's how my trading strategy is set up. That's just a no bueno for me. So the morning 90-minute AM session, we've taken out London here. We've taken out Asia. We're back into the range, right? We're back into this range. So it'll be interesting. The overnight, if we look at the 2 a.m. 4-hour candle, we open, open, low, high, and close. Didn't really move much. It's almost it's a bit of a doji candle, which is to be anticipated before CPI, right? So, and then that is preceded by 3 down close candles. So we do have this buy side down here, or excuse me, sell side down here that we have not yet. Here's where it originates from. It originates from November the 21st with this buy side. So we do have this buy side, excuse me, sell side down here that we haven't come down to. So it's possible. It's possible. And then here's the next BISI that was created on February the 5th. So we do have this BISI price, anyway, we'll have to see. We'll have to see if price is drawn down to the absolute bottom price here before making a move. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Smart Money wants to do, but all we can do is read price and just look for clues. But I'll be taking my time when the market opens because I am mindful of Michael Huddlestone saying the day after a big move, price can chop around. So let's just take a look at the week. So Monday, price came down, and then basically Tuesday, Wednesday, and half of the morning of Thursday, we just ranged. So then we had this manipulation here, nice drop. We've been ranging basically through this area last night. We had the drop down at 8:15. So I never like to, make a guess of where price is going to go because that's not really how I trade. But we might come down a little further before reversing. But just if we look kind of on the weekly here, we haven't been down here to this level, this previous week low. Price climbed. Like I say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we were accumulating. We had this little breakout here, which was that nice run down, and then price climbed up again and then came down. We are in discount. So this could be a manipulation down for a push up. That's what it could be. Could be. Again, I have no idea. We have our levels marked to the downside. Draw on liquidity, and then if we move below previous week low, we've got another sell side here at 23,499, and that is from here, equal lows. So that's what I have on my chart. But we have these SMTs, both on the monthly and the weekly, from this area here. Anyway, let's see what happens. This hourly BISI for now, this is holding. And we had these nice manipulations down with a push up. So if we look at the daily candles, today's daily candle, which opened at midnight, opened lower, came down, hit this low of Asia, London low, and then has expanded up. Anyway, let's see what happens. Hi, Steve. Hi, Steve Taylor. How you doing this morning? Just looking at CPI numbers look good for Fed. Came in better than anticipated, so that's always good. That was a beauty of a move down yesterday in the 1045 macro. I was long off the charts by that point, but anyway, so that was kind of interesting. And Steve, we're just looking here. So last night we were just ranging. Asia did a nice range. We dipped down. We took out the previous day low. We took out Asia. We took out London low. Price had a nice move up. We had a nice manipulation at 8:15. Let me just go back to the 2-minute and show you. So right here, I've just drawn it in right here. We were, Polterschnack and I were just discussing, like, I personally don't take a trade ahead of CPI numbers. It's just, I don't do it, but to each their own. But anyway, here's the smart money reversal. So Price came down, then we moved up. Price came down again. Put it in SMT. We have a change in the state of delivery right here. This series of down close candles. The top of this is change in the state of delivery. We have a fair value gap right here, and we have an inverted fair value gap here. Price came up, wicked down, right back to change in the state of delivery. You could have entered here. You could have entered up here. Prices come back down again. Uh, so anyway, it was a nice smart money reversal, and this was at 8:14, so just prior to CPI numbers being released. So we were also just chatting this morning. I think for anyone who's studied ICT or who's followed ICT, we know that he has a pretty strong view that the day before, if price has had a big move, that the following morning can be pretty choppy. So yesterday we had a very big move down. And so although it's CPI morning, and of course everybody's excited about the potential, uh, I have ICTs where it's just kind of ruminating around in the back of my mind that we could potentially, see some choppiness. And so I am going to be very patient this morning. And, but this has been a nice manipulation to the downside already. So right here. But we'll see. We've got these levels below us, and then we have levels, we've got these levels here. Also, just mindful that when price drops really quickly, we have high resistance liquidity. Um, so that's to be factored in as well. So anyway, that's where we are. This 1 hour BISI has been holding price for now. So we've got some levels marked to the downside, and we've got our levels obviously to the upside. And that's where we are. I think while I'm on the hourly here, I'm just gonna put these in here. I mean, this whole thing is a SIBI, realistically. And on the daily, so here's yesterday's big movement down, and then price opened. We had a little bit of a manipulation wick, and then price dropped into this morning. So, on the higher time frame, we have a bit of a bullish feel. Just if we're looking just here on the hour, you have just on the hourly, we have buy side, we have chop, chop, chop for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then we're on the sell side of the curve right here. And to complete that curve, we'd have to come down to the sell side to complete that curve. So, from where price currently is down to this draw on liquidity down here, we're already deep into um, premium, right? Like price has already dropped. Here is a good place to have sold and taken it all the way down. The further down price goes, if this is the goal of smart money, we're getting deeper into premium on the sell side. So you want to buy like deep in discount, right? So this was the move here on Wednesday. This was the high of the week, and then from there price has been dropping. So if this is the goal of smart money, we are pretty close to it, to their objective. So, but like I say, I don't know. We could completely move up this morning when price opens. Who knows? And it's really not our job to, Um, I'm not here to forecast. I'm just observing. So we could move up again, price could move up again, and if that's the case, we're deep in discount to do that. But if price's objective is to move down, we're deep in premium, and so there's more risk and less upside. I guess basically what I'm saying. Hey, good morning, Just USA. On a on another note, I had this breaker block on here all week, and this has played out really, really nicely. So this was the high, the low, the higher high, the lower low. So this was the breaker I've had on my chart. This yellow box here is the breaker. So we can see that price moved up, came up, and it stayed right inside. It came right to the top, almost, well, in the top 25%, stayed right in the top here, and then dropped. So you know, the importance of having a breaker on the higher time frames is super important. Okay, let me just read some of these questions here. It's 9:19. I've noted the weekly SMT with YM. My SMT strategy is whichever time cycle that formed the SMT. I look for the market maker model to continue till that opposing liquidity is taken. Okay. Uh, okay. 477, which indicator are you using for 5 days movement? I don't use an indicator for 5 days movement. I'm just reading price and I'm using SMTs and I use market maker models to guide me. Um, Kalula 7799, good morning. Good morning. Yeah, XMT. Yeah, we're not, none of us are experts here. We're not giving advice. Nobody here is giving advice. This is a channel for entertainment purposes only. I don't encourage trading. There is great risk to trading. This is just me sharing my thoughts as an ICT student. That's that. So yeah, so this breaker block has held beautifully, and I've been watching this all week, and so it is important to put these higher time frame PD arrays on the chart and then manage and watch them throughout the week. So I just want to go back to the week, go back to the 15-minute here. So here we are, just a recap on the week. So price opened uh, right here, this dotted line. Price came down kind of in the middle of nowhere, and then price came back up. We have been accumulating through most of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Price came up. It made the high of the week. It took out all of these highs, tapped into this 4-hour SIBI here, this 4-hour SIBI, and then price moved down, took out all of this liquidity in here. From here, price started to move up, and then we had a mitigation here. So this high on Thursday did not take out Wednesday's high. So price was showing weakness here. So this is a mitigation. Price moved down. This was this big move down. And then we've had chop. We've had chop through here. And then 8:15 this morning, we took out Asia low. We took out London low. Let's just go to the 2-minute. So here, price came down in London. We took out Asia low. Price came back up. We chopped around for a bit, and price came down and made another low. So took out this previous low, put in an SMT, and then we had a smart money reversal. I was just going over that this morning. So here's the change in the state of delivery, inverted fair value gap, fair value gap. Price came up, came back, is kissing the change in the state of delivery. So this happened at 8:15, just prior to CPI. And so we have taken out the London high. We have taken out Asia low. and we have come back into the range. That's the important thing this morning, is that we are back in the range from the high and the low made from this morning. I'm very mindful. I'm going to say this again. I'm very mindful. ICT says when we have a big move the day before, we can anticipate the next morning to have chop. Now, on top of that, we have CPI release, so that is an extra confluence. And so I will be watching the market to try and understand where smart money wants to go. Does it want to take us lower and take us into the lows here that we have not yet been to, which is down here? So far this 1 hour busy is holding, but we do have this 1 hour busy below, and then we have sell side down here. So does price want to come down, take out this low, and then move price up? Or when price opens this morning at 9:30, are we just going to move right up and take out, or at least access the liquidity in this 4 hour SIBI, and then these SIBIs up here, which have not yet, we can see these have not yet been reached. So just some things to think about. If smart money wants to take us down to sell side to complete this market maker sell model, so here's the buy side of the curve, here we had the chop, 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 and then we're on the sell side. We are deep into discount if we believe that price is going to go lower. So, just to take that into consideration, if smart money wants to take price down here and then move up to these 4 hour SIBIs that we have not yet accessed, then this would be deep discount and this would be premium up here. So anyway, if we look at the daily candles, they indicate weakness or bearishness. We had Wednesday, which was doji, indecisive, and then Thursday was a nice move down. Did anybody take that move down, by the way? Just curious. I was off the charts. That was the second macro, uh, and it was right here, I think, right here. I think that's where the first macro had ended, and then we were seeing some price distortion, and then we had this big move down. So again, you know what? You're not going to catch every move, and the day before CPI, I don't trade, and so anyway, I don't generally have any feelings of, missing out. I'm just, you know what? I take a look at it, I study it, and then, you know what? I'm looking for the next opportunity, which, you know, I know is going to be coming around shortly. So, on the 4 hour, we've got a doji, that's to be anticipated. So price opened, we came down, we took out these lows, price came back up with the CPI news and took out this high, took out the 2 a.m. high, which was London high. Overall, the feel is bearishness, but this area is interesting. I will be really taking my time this morning. Again, I'm mindful of Michael Huddlestone saying the day after a big move, remember that when we have a big move, we're going to have high resistance liquidity moving back up. So there's going to be deep retracements, wicks. So, that's tough to trade. And we could have price distortion in the morning following a big move. So No matter what, there's always going to be opportunities. So, I feel no rush or need to jump into anything. There's the whole day. It is, let the craziness unleash. And then with a level head, with no emotion, wait for your setup, wait for your strategy to present itself, and block out all the noise of what everyone around you is doing. That's the thing. You trade your game. If you watch players in World Cup or NBA or whatever sport you watch, the players are worried about their own game. They're not worried about what defense is doing on the other side. They're focused on their own game, their own strategy, and what their own coach is telling them. They are not trying to play a game in the shoes of all their opponents. They play their own game. And when you play a good game of defense and offense, it doesn't matter what anybody else around you is doing. Hi, Sharka. Okay, well, let's go down onto the lower time frames and let's take a look and see what's happening. So we had nice manipulation here at 8:15. Let's get ES back on the screen here. So we're at midnight. So we're back at equilibrium for midnight. Here's this inverted fair value gap from this morning's manipulation. This is the hourly BISI that has been holding so far this morning. So we tap back into this inverted fair value gap, which is stemming from this manipulation at 8:15. Hey, good morning, Zornitsa. If smart money wants to take price higher, we are nicely in discount. They might want to take price lower before taking price higher. Again, I have no idea where price is going to go. But this was a nice manipulation at 8:15 with a smart money reversal. So we have not taken out Asia high. I'll be waiting for that 10 a.m. candle to open. Mitigation. For anyone who watched Kyle's video that I posted the other day, failed swing high, right? Here's a failed swing high. So here's the swing, and next candle has opened below the swing high. I'm just pointing this out. I'm not suggesting anything other than I'm just tape reading. Price is still holding in this area of change in the state of delivery from this high. So we have low, high, lower, low, higher, high. So we have a bullish breaker here with price respecting that. And disrespecting this inverted fair value gap, respecting this SIBI. Price could be taking a run for the sell side. Sell side being down here. This is the hourly chart. So if we move, if price disrespects this BISI and we move towards this next hourly BISI, below there is our draw on liquidity sell side for a previous week low. And that comes from right here, which was November the 21st. So price could be interested in drawing down to these prices and then completing the sell model. So this is the buy side of the curve and then the sell side of the curve. So that's the higher time frame, and then we'll move back to the lower time frame. I like to keep going back to the hourly because it keeps me grounded in terms of what price is doing on the higher time frame. So between this low this morning and this high that we put in this morning, between this low and this high, we are in the middle of the range. Okay, we haven't broken the low here and we haven't broken the high here. We're just in the middle of the range. See if we break below this low from this morning. ES is just approaching London low now, but has not taken London low. ES has not taken London low, but NQ has. So there's an SMT there. And we have taken out this low. And if you just put your cursor on the candle and you look up here, you can look for the low, and then you can look for the low on this candle. So we've taken out this low, and we are looking very weak. This might have been a nice short off this mitigation block here. ES is now broken below London low. Could be heading for lower prices. All three indices are in agreement, supporting lower prices. Took out this low, previous low. First presented fair value gap on ES has been printed and not on NQ. Body's respecting this hourly BISI, right almost to the pip. Change in the state of delivery if this candle closes above. First macro just starting. The 6 a.m. candle back to equilibrium, meaning that this is where it opened this morning at 6 a.m. and it's right back to opening price, just breaking midnight. So we've taken out this low, anticipating price now going for the high of the morning, which is this level here, which is this gray box, which is AM2. Let's see if it moves above this SIBI, which was used to mitigate price earlier. Will we respect that SIBI or not? Will price reject it again there and move back down? I'm looking at this inverted fair value gap right here. Price can remain above this and above the change in the state of delivery. But we do not have an SMT. So we have an inverted fair value gap. Here's our fair value gap right here. Fair value gap, inverted fair value gap, breaker, low, high, lower, low, higher, high. Change in the state of delivery, but there is no SMT. Closed above the 50% of the new day opening gap. Okay, thank you, Steve. Here's our new day. Here's our new day opening gap from February the 12th. Yep. Yep. Thank you, Steve. Here are our other new week opening gaps above us here. If price indeed is bullish, we are deep in discount, which is very good. But I would want to see if price is going to come up. I want to see it come back down, hit or tap some of these fair value gaps before moving back up again. That's what I would want to see before I would get involved. And it's too early for me to be involved. It's only the first macro. We are way early in this game after having a big drop yesterday. So this would have been an entry for a quick move up because this is a smart money reversal. This is a smart money reversal so far. But again, you know, on a day like today, might be wise to keep the position sizes manageable and keep the trades manageable. You know, I wouldn't be looking, I personally am very cautious because of that big move down yesterday. So Michael Huddlestone, his words ring in my head, you know, that the morning following a big move, expect chop. So well, let's see if we come back down now to maybe tap this one of these fair value gaps here, Bissies. There's another one there. Here's our change in the state of delivery. So anytime I'm looking at a potential trade, I do not want to see price move below the change in the state of delivery. Once we hit that change in the state of delivery, I want to see strength and rejection above. We have an SMT to the upside. Price could come back down to this fair value gap down here, or it could take it right out. We did take out this high. We took out this high from 8:30 this morning. This was the swing high that took out London. So you can see that we've taken that out. We have not taken out Asia. We've not taken out Asia high yet. Equal highs above, yeah. So let's just go back to the hourly again. Let's just take a look at where we are here just to gain some perspective. So again, the 6 a.m. candle on the 4-hour candles, we're just at equilibrium, right? Price really hasn't moved anywhere. It's come down, it's gone back up, it's right back into equilibrium on the 4-hour. So we are still inside the high of the morning and the low of the morning. We're back inside it now. Let's see if price holds or rejects from this swing low, this fair value gap that was created from this swing low. Let's see if that holds or if price wants to move through it and create a new low. This BISI that was created between these three candles, that's holding. Change in the state of delivery is holding. I would want to see this inverted fair value gap hold. So we had nice wick down on all three indices. Could potentially indicate higher prices. Again, very choppy still this morning, right? I don't believe we've had a first presented fair value gap on NQ yet. We do have it on ES. Here's our Monday low. So here's our low of the week and our high of the week. So if we just draw a fib on that so far, and if we draw a, thank God it's Friday, drawing back into 20% of the range, here's 50% of the range. This is 50% of the range. What I like about the higher time frame is, when you take a step back and you look on the hourly, you just realize that you're just in a bunch of chop here. We have the 10 a.m. candle opening in 4 minutes. Here we are on the 5 minute. So we're still inside this fair value gap, this BISI here. This is the inverted fair value gap. We have the SMTs to the upside, but nothing to the downside here. This mitigation block is also holding to the upside. So what I'm saying is that, the case could be either way for going higher or lower at this point. It's not clear. And so if I'm not clear, then, there's no trade for me. Let's just take a look again on the hourly. Lots of wicks to the downside on the hourly. Now, what is important here is that so far price is holding on this hourly BISI. So 1 minute before the 10 a.m. 4-hour candle opens, we can see that as the 6 a.m. candle closes, it's basically a doji. We have equal wick to the high and the low, indicating uh, bears and bulls over the past 4 hours. Really, neither one have taken control of price. And the 4-hour candle before that, the 2 a.m., very small range as well. So in my view, like on the 1 hour, I'm just, I'm happy to sit here and wait and see what price ultimately wants to do. But, we may have a situation like ICT says after a day where price has had a significant movement. The following morning can be extremely choppy. And it's best just to move to the side and wait until it becomes abundantly clear on the 1 hour where price wants to go. So this is not advice. This is me rambling as an ICT student. When I took that 3-month mentorship with Zusi, he's rebranded to Frank. That's his real name. He always says, if you don't know, if you cannot tell institutional order flow on the 1 hour, you have no business moving to the smaller time frames. And so here we are, I'm sitting on the 1 hour and I have no SMT to the downside. All I have is indication right now that this hourly BISI is holding, but we've had a lot of wicks to the downside, which indicate uh, weakness. We have we've got buyers stepping in. Exactly. Patience, Sharka. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I learned that from Frank. Well, I learned it from ICT as well. But if you don't know if you can't define institutional order flow on the 1 hour, you have no business going down to the lower time frames. Now, I'm not a scalper, so keep that in mind. Okay, so the 10 a.m. candle has opened. So this is opening price here. Open, low, potentially high, close, potentially. Again, on the 1 minute, coming back down to this change in the state of delivery. So we've been above it, below it, above it, below it, above it. That is just indecisiveness. Cold here today, guys. Super cold here in Canada. Here's a fun fact. When it's really, really cold, you know that it's cold. You don't have to look at the weather because when you walk on snow in very cold weather, it crunches. Like there's a certain sound to it, and it crunches like if you were to put granola in your mouth and crunch down with your teeth, like that really crunchy sound. That's what snow sounds like in really cold weather. It's a very definitive sound. So here we are testing again the change in the state of delivery. Low, high, lower, low, higher, high. You know, we still have this breaker. Let me just put this on for you guys to see. There's the breaker. Yeah, it's a roller coaster this morning. And you know what? Everyone should be proud of having the patience and just taking your foot off the accelerator and waiting for clarity, right? We're just ranging here, and I'm gonna just say it again. You guys are like sick and tired of me hearing it, but ICT's words. The day after, the morning after, a day that has a long run, you can anticipate a lot of price distortion. XMT, wise words. And I'll tell you, for for many years, I was the liquidity. 100%. Like that's why I feel because I know how many retail traders unknowingly are getting, you know, the carpet ripped out from underneath them this morning. I know that. I used to be one of them, right? Like you only know what you know. But if you stay in the game long enough and you truly study and learn from lessons, you know, through journaling, that you become a little more informed. You become a little more, you know, and that's not about being self-righteous or, you know, a know-it-all. That's just being filled with gratitude that we've made progress, that we have better understanding, that ICT's words mean something to us because we were once the liquidity. So, so yeah, very, very good. I'm filled with gratitude, XMT. I really, really am. You know what? I have 600 points in the bag this week with 0 losses. That is progress. Like for me, I'm so grateful to be making progress in trading. I really, really am. I'm so grateful. And, you know, the journey is like it's tough, right? The journey is tough, but I think, you know, you need to celebrate your wins when you have the wins, and then you need to learn from both your wins and your losses. And I'm not talking about wins in terms of money. Money, you know, you can have a really, really bad trade and make money, but it's a bad, you know, it's a bad trade. And then you can have a really good trade and that does not work out. So the money does not define success or failure. It's your understanding, it's your development, it's your personal development. It's how you come to the charts every single day as a professional, right? In control of your emotions, not getting sucked into the crass of the market. It's mastering yourself and aligning yourself with institutional order flow and being able to do that with consistency. That's progress, right? Still respecting this SIBI here. Actually, I'm going to move this to here. So we are making higher lows, but we have not yet made a higher high here. This 10 a.m. opening candle. So here's the opening price. We have this little wick. So open, low, high. You know, we don't know how high it's going to go, and then close. So we're just coming to the end of the first macro. It's 10:11. That first macro window closes at 10:15, and I am still content to do nothing. I still want to see structure. I would want to see some structure being built. There's nothing here of interest to me. So when I say structure, I want to see that price comes up, makes some nice fair value gaps, pulls back into an area of discount, right? And then continues to move up. That's what I would want to see before I would consider getting involved. We are still, in my view, we are still in this. I'll make it with something else. We are still in this pocket of indecisiveness. And again, let's just go back to the hourly. Two doji candles in the last, like covering the last 8 hours, and we've had some distribution from the 10 a.m. candle, but we have not come up above, price has not come above the 1800-hour candle from earlier this morning. We do have an SMT to the top end, and we have no SMT down here. We have no SMT down here. Holding above here on the 1 hour, so, excuse me, on the 1 minute. So what we do have on the daily, if we look at the daily candle, we have this SIBI, right? This is the daily time frame. We do have the SIBI. Now this candle is in progress. This is not a closed candle, but just currently we have this area of inefficiency so far. But just looking on the, you know, on the 1 hour or on the 4 hour candles, I mean, this is nothing. This hourly BISI is holding. We are at midnight. So again, I like to buy way below midnight or sell way above midnight. And when we're at equilibrium, that is equilibrium. There's no discount or premium. So this is just a chop fest in here. Well, let's wait and see what the next macro brings. So the first macro is coming to an end. It's 10:15. Not unexpected, as XMT said. We were anticipating that after a big move yesterday, that we could have price chop this morning, and indeed, no surprise there. And so that is, what is this here? So we just wait until we can define institutional order flow on the 1 hour. That for me is the baseline to figure out what smart money wants to do. Previous day is up here, and we got previous day low. So we have taken out previous day low. Okay, XMT, thanks for dropping by, and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for stopping in. I'm just sitting here on the 1 hour, guys, because honestly, we've got nothing happening. Like literally nothing happening. If you look at these 4 hour candles, there's nothing. So, if you're a scalper and you might be seeing something that works for you, but for the way that I trade and what I'm looking for, there's nothing of interest for me. What I am thinking about is going out for breakfast to my favorite breakfast place. Anyone here have a favorite breakfast place that's near them? Do you guys like to go out for breakfast? I live in a really, really, really small town in the middle of nowhere, and there is one breakfast place that is run by a Greek family, and oh my God, this is the best breakfast place I've ever been to in the entire world. I'm not kidding. This family knows how to do breakfast. So I'm going to hang out, guys, and see if the next macro produces anything. And then failing that, if there's still nothing of interest, I'm going to come back um, for the afternoon session to see if there's anything. And uh, if there's nothing really of interest, then I'm happy to just not take a trade today and come back next week for a fresh week. I've already looked at the red folder news for next week. We've got Fed minutes on Wednesday. I think we have nothing on Monday. Let's just take a look here. So here's Monday. We have no news, but we have a lot of FOMC speakers. And we have a banking, do we have a banking holiday? One second. Hang on a second here. There we go. We have a banking holiday on Monday. Okay, guys, so we got a banking holiday on Monday. It's going to be a long weekend for us. Tuesday, we've got nothing really. Wednesday, we have Wednesday we have FOMC minutes at 2 p.m. Okay, so we've got a trade day on Wednesday. Thursday, we have unemployment claims. And then Friday, we have retail sales. Now, let's see here. We have core PCE, flash manufacturing. So Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week are trading days. Monday is a no bueno. And Tuesday is, we'll look for volatility just at the opening bell. That's basically what we have for next week. Thanks, Sharka. Have a wonderful weekend with your kids and your kitties. They're all little kitties. I'm just going to move to the 5 minutes because watching on the 1 minute is like it's pretty much nothing. I'm going to take off anything that's below the 5 minutes. Yeah, 1 minute is painful, especially on a day like today, because you're not getting a perspective on what's happening. Like for me, as Frank always said to us in his Zusi mentorship, if you cannot identify institutional order flow on the 1 hour, you stay on the 1 hour until you can, and only then do you move down to the smaller time frame. Again, I'm not giving advice. I am just sharing information that I have learned from some mentorships that I have taken. We still have not taken out Asia High up here. So this candle has taken out this high, and this candle has taken out these lows. Just a lot of weakness. You can see that price kind of wants to move higher, and then it takes a few steps, and then it just doesn't have it doesn't have the velocity or the strength to move in a decisive way. It's very weak price action. Above the inverted fair value gap. This is just on the 5 minutes. Change in the state of delivery is, take this out. Here, inverted fair value gap. But on the 5 minute, there's no clear fair value gap. Anyway, I would want us to see some movement up, a nice pullback, and then a continuation. That's ultimately what I would want to be looking for. And I'm going to wait for the next macro. It's 10:30, so I'm going to wait another 15 minutes for the next macro, see if there's an opportunity. If not, I'm going to go and have breakfast, and then um, I'll come back on the charts. I won't go live at 2 because I may not, unless I see something that is really high value, I'm just going to call it a week. Be nice if we could get up to the previous day high. So we've just taken Asia high. Both ES and NQ have just taken out Asia high on the 5 minutes. I'm on the 5 minute time frame. Seeing some strength above Asia, being supported by this hourly BISI here. You have about 8 minutes until the next macro opens. Potentially, potentially targeting previous day high. We do have these new day and new week opening gaps above us, but price is barely has a pulse. Bit of a pullback here. Pull back into that 5 minute BISI. See if it holds. Mm. 4 minutes before the next macro opens. If there's nothing in the next macro, then I'm out. I'll come back and take a look at the charts at 2, but I would want to see like a push off this out of this macro, push out of this fair value gap into the next macro. That's what I would want to see. showing real weakness. Like if price was going to show strength, you'd want to see it like maybe just kiss or tap the top of this fair value gap, or not come through at least 50% of it before moving up again. But we're not getting that. We're getting weakness again. We've got this small SMT here above Asia, but that means nothing unless we have a change in the state of delivery. Change in the state of delivery would be here, because this set of green candles here were responsible for pushing price down. So here would be the change in the state of delivery. But again, I'm more to the upside than I am to the downside. Again, it's just very, there's nothing really substantial here. Back on the hour, excuse me. Let's go back to the hourly here. Back into the inverted fair value gap. Next macro is starting now. It's 10:45. So here's Asia high. Came above this new day opening gap. So that's done. We've taken out Asia. ES has taken out Asia. And just back into this choppy range again. Back to the change in the state of delivery. There's no SMT here supporting higher prices. So, that's really lacking. There's, again, like there's just no structure here. There's nothing, there's really nothing. Back on the hourly, we're back into this chop zone. This hourly BISI is holding, but it's certainly not giving the buyers are not stepping in. And again, it could be that price is choppy after yesterday's, big move down. And markets need time to accumulate, to engineer liquidity before their next move. They don't move from, you know, a really powerful move down to a really powerful move high, just generally. It needs some time to chop around and engineer liquidity. And we could see that. We could see that for the rest of the day. We could see that for the rest of the morning, and maybe a move this afternoon. But at this point, we're into our second macro, and we just haven't moved. And if we look at the last four 5-hour candles, we are in a very tight range. So what I would be looking for is just to continue monitoring this type of range and then waiting for a breakout to the upside or the downside, and waiting for smart money to show us really its intention with some nice strong candles with some displacement. Show us where you want to go, smart money. Are we going to go higher and take out these areas of liquidity up here, or are we going to move down to the draw on liquidity down to the sell side here, take this out and complete this market maker sell model? So that's the question. And I am just an observer here of the market, and I will wait patiently until the market has something that it wants to show us its intention. And it just may not on a Friday with a banking holiday on Monday. So when price is moving nicely and IPTA is showing us its hand, it's way more fun to trade. Like, you want to put probability on your side. But on days like today, if you try to force something because you want to feel good about, being in the market today or taking a trade today, if you force this kind of day, uh, it's it's a tough position to put yourself in. It's way more fun to align yourself with IPTA when it's running nicely and it's running clearly, and you can make good decisions to get in at a level that makes sense to your strategy and your comfort. So, but this here for me on the 1 hour, this is like no bueno. No bueno. I'm gonna go out for breakfast. I live in this super, super, super small town. There's only one breakfast place and they do it really well. And the thing is, they do such good business that they're closed on Sunday mornings, which is kind of ironic and funny because lots of people like wait for the weekend to go for brunch or like breakfast. But in this small town, there's no breakfast on Sunday. You got to make breakfast at your own place. So getting there on a Friday or a Saturday morning at the end of the week is kind of nice because there's no breakfast place open on Sundays in this small town. So, and I can't blame them. Like the family needs some family time, right? It's a Greek family and they want, I guess, Sunday and Monday as days off for their family. So that's what they do. And since they're the only game in town, they can choose their hours. So we've come right back to the change in the state of delivery. I'm back on the 5 minutes here, and we are in the macro. Do have a an SMT here, just a 10-minute SMT. see if this fair value gap holds. Obviously, I'd like it to get above here, but it's just so. I think this morning is just. I think it's just a dead zone, and I think it might be way more interesting to see if there's something available this afternoon. And honestly, this is just. It's just sending mixed messages. I think it just needs to engineer some liquidity, and then show us its intention. But at this point, there's really, there's really nothing here of interest. It's just a back and forth, which means it's engineering liquidity. So I think I'm probably going to just call it a day. I think I want to go out and grab breakfast, and I'll come back and take a look at 2 p.m. See if there's anything of interest. And if not, Monday's a banking holiday, and so the Tuesday will be our next day back together again. And I think that's it. And there have been many, many days in my trading career where I've tried to force a trade, and it's painful. It takes mental capital. You don't want to go into the weekend with a loss. You know what I mean? Like you want to go into the weekend knowing that you've controlled yourself, that you're ready for the next opportunity whenever that market decides to, give you that opportunity. But it's nice to start a weekend knowing that you have controlled yourself, that you are a professional trader, and that you are willing to wait for the next opportunity. You're not going to force something. And that's exactly how I'm feeling this morning. I'm not here to force anything. And there are going to be a lot better days ahead to trade. So let's give this market some time to recover after the nice drop yesterday, and we'll be ready for next week. Exactly. I totally agree, Polterschnack. Like this, even this low here, and then when this took it out, I mean, this is a smart money reversal, but it's just that there's no like there's either no volume, or there's nothing behind it, right? It's very flat. Yeah. Totally agree. Gonzalig. It's just one of the things that's made the biggest difference. There's a few things that have made the difference in me becoming profitable. And one of them is just to stop doing stupid shit. Like, I'm just gonna say that. Like the day that you just stop taking those dumb losses, uh, it changes everything, right? Because when you're still like um newish to trading, you're still trying things, right? You're trying different things, and let me try this, and I saw this strategy, let me try this. Like we're trying all these new things, waiting to find, your strategy, what works for you. And it's those small losses that take a bite out of the trades that actually work. So when you stop taking those let me try this trades, that's what I call them. Let me try this trade. When you stop taking those dumbass trades and you truly wait for your setup to come, and it's a beautiful feeling when you have your setup and you know exactly what you're looking for, because then you don't hesitate. But the let me try this trades, those days are over for me. And we're on to better times now. So, guys, I wish you a really nice weekend. It's my birthday next week, so I know it's gonna be a good week. My dog and I share the same birthday, if you can believe it. It's weird, right? Anyway, I want to make sure he has a good birthday week next week, and I'm gonna have a good birthday week next week. And I'm gonna just take myself out to breakfast right now. And I thank you for joining me this week. It's always fun to trade with a group of like-minded professionals. And so I appreciate you being here, and bringing your wisdom, your enthusiasm in everything that you see in the market, because uh, having more than one set of eyes on a chart is always a good thing. It's always, always a good thing. So be safe, guys. Enjoy, and congratulations for your patience this morning, because you know what? You are not liquidity this morning. And so you save some gunpowder for next week. We'll have a good week next week. We'll find some good setups. So that's it, guys. And stay safe and be good. And I'll see you next week. Bye for now.